Hello everyone, it's another day and of course it's another instructional video. Alright, so for today's video, we will talk about ritualism and ritual theory. So to formally start our discussion for today, let's define first what is ritualism. Okay, so ritualism as defined, this gives emphasis on the importance of rites or ritualistic forms in worship. Absolutely. From the word itself, ritual, of course, we can infer that ritualism really gives emphasis or gives weight on the importance of rituals in our society. Like how rituals governed and influenced the society or the community, or how rituals made those certain groups moved from one social role to another. Okay? So that is ritualism. Now, another definition of ritualism is according to the sociologists. Okay, so in sociology, ritualism is viewed or is defined about rejecting the goals of the society. Rejecting the goals of the society, but continuing to work within an institutionalized framework. Okay, so according to the sociologists, ritualism is actually rejecting the goals or the societal goals. However, you continue to accept, to live, or to participate the means or the ways in achieving those societal goals. For example, myself, actually I'm not interested to any political affairs. But I'm not satisfied with the economic state of my country, which is Philippines. And I believed that the political system is already broken and those government officials can no longer do their promises, like giving or creating more jobs intended for all Filipinos. So I rejected their goals. However, despite of that, I still participate in every election year by simply joining the process of voting. It is because voting has somewhat become a tradition, a natural tradition. So that's the reason why I just go through the motion like that. Alright, so that is what sociologists are trying to emphasize regarding ritualism. Okay, so now let's move on to the ritual theory. We have this ritual theory which involves myths and rituals. But before that, before we go to the world of ritual theory, let's define first what is a myth and what is a ritual. Okay? So what is a myth? A myth is an idea or story that is believed by many but is not true. The second one, it is a story that was told in an ancient culture to explain something. Okay, so a myth, basically, it is a traditional story of historical events that serves to unfold part of the world or to explain practices, beliefs, or even natural phenomena. Now let's go to ritual. Okay, so what is a ritual? A ritual is a sequence of activities involving gestures, objects, actions, and words. Okay, so gestures. For example, waving your hand to someone you have known in your life, or handshaking when meeting someone, right? That's already a gesture, a ritualistic gesture. Next is objects. Okay, so objects, this is still evident until this time, especially when we believe that that certain object has something to do with us or has something beyond. We really value and give so much importance to that certain object because we believe that there is really something behind that object, right? Next, we have actions. So for actions, of course, the ritual dances, which is also evident until this time, especially when we celebrate Sinulog Festival, right? And the last one is the word or words. So for example, when passing through a dark place or a big trees, we often say in Cebuano as tabi buyag or tabi, because we believe when we say that word or words, we cannot hurt those creatures living on that certain place or trees, right? Okay, so ritual is also performed in a sequestered place or separate place. Then, ritual could be prescribed by the traditions of a community. Yes, this is very true because if you don't know, there were numbers of rituals that were left behind or were no longer practiced these days. So that's the reason why some organizations or other societies really push their members to continue practicing a certain ritual so that it would not be left behind. Then, a ritual is also a way of describing or defining humans. Yes, it is very true because ritual does not only affect the community or the society, but it also affects ourselves, our lives, the way we think, the way we live, the way we dress ourselves have something to do with our rituals, have something to do with our beliefs, have something to do with our practices. Now, in ritual theory, the theory asserts that ritual is the heart of all social dynamics. Now let's consider first the following factors or the following facts. The fact that a ritual influences oneself, one's behavior, and one's practices. The fact that an interaction to rituals organizes a society by believing the same thing and following the same ritual or practicing the same ritual. The fact that rituals influenced social roles and that made individuals to create representations of such rituals, and the fact that social activities exist with a ritualistic approach, we can say that rituals are actually the center of everything and the answer of the unknown. Alright, so to have more details or knowledge regarding the ritual theory, let's have Mr. Brian Alexschwein.
According to Sir James Frazer, who proposed the ritual theory, that myths are explanations for religious rituals which serve as a secondary elaboration of rituals. According to Durkheim, the function of rituals, and thereby of myths, was to unite a social group, to strengthen and cement the ties between persons in a group. Scholars found out that rituals have played a vital role in the society. They also often mark transitions from one social role to another. Here are some sample rituals in contemporary United States. A man or a woman transitioning from being the single role to married participates in a ceremony with their closest associates. The celebrant goes out for one night and does things that are the exact opposite of what their target role is, a serious husband or wife should do. Upon return, the celebrant is ready to be married. Another example is children leave food and other small gifts in the central room of the house. They place empty socks beside the central heat system, and after they are asleep, the parents fill the socks with gifts which the children will open in the morning. But what do these rituals have to do with myth? So based on the ritualist school interpretation, rituals are the most important part for the society, and the myth come afterwards. For example, the children who are preparing for getting gifts is the main ritual, but a myth is the story that is developed later, the story about Santa Claus, some guy who traveled to all the roofs on a sleigh pulled by a flying reindeer. Generally, rituals develop for interesting reasons and can shed light into societies that have myth and rituals. That's all for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you learned something from our video. By the way, I am Brian J. Lexion, a second-year student at City of Burley, taking up a course of Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English. Bye guys, and I hope to see you guys soon on our next video.
Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. When they lay me down to rest, I know I was always repping. Oh my God,